everybody, how are we doing? Welcome back to the hashtag Lockboss Show and Giveaway. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday out there. It is October 10th. How about that? And I tell you what, we just got off a little crazy warm spell up here in northern Idaho. And it was 75 degrees, 75, 80 degrees, just beautiful out last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday. I tell you what, I definitely got some golf in, so I'm pretty happy about that. But of course, I'm even more happier to be here with you all right now on Tuesday. So let's see here. Hey to everybody checking in. Great to see so many of you as I'm looking through the comments here. And so today we're gonna have a nice fun show. We're gonna be going over the posts of the week, the comment of the week, and then of course we're gonna be hopping into credit card processing. I have some interesting details to share with you, which I hope you enjoy and learn and get something out of. And of course, we're mainly going to be talking about having a backup processor. So that's what we got going on for our show today. And let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and I guess let's hop right into it. How about that? But of course, before we do, I'm here drinking a Topo Chico. Cheers to all you out there as well who are drinking them, or in that case, your favorite beverage of choice. How about that? All right. No, I guess I should say that, for so many days, it's been, that last few days have been warm and wonderful. And today, well, it's not so warm and not so wonderful. But hey, you know what? I got a nice fake light shining on me right here. I'm pretending it's the sun. But okay, here we go. Posts of the week. Oh, and of course, I do this all the time, but of course, at the very end, after we go over the credit card processing, we're going to be announcing this week's 5 lucky winners. So I can't believe after this many years, I forget that sometimes. But this first post comes in from Robert C. He says, "Hey guys, I received my great gifts that I won and am sending you a picture. Love the great Lockboss gifts, a very nice signed card, a nice t-shirt, nice ceramic coffee cup, a nice Lockboss label pin, and some cool stickers. Thanks, guys and gals. That is so awesome. CLK Supplies rules." Well, hey, thank you, Robert, for not only sending a photo in, looks like you got some really cool stuff, but also for your kind words towards the company. Much appreciate. Next up here, this is coming in from Stanley G, also known as Polar Bear 7334, which is typically on live. How's it going? What's up if you are? It says, here is a photo of my winnings. So you can see the little label pin there. We got a pinning mat. We got a Lockboss t-shirt. And of course, we have some Mott's fruit snacks there at the bottom left. I hope you enjoyed those. Looks like a nice little workspace, locksmith area there as well. That's really cool. All right. Comment of the week. Here we go. This one comes from the professional hobbyist. Let me make my screen bigger here so I can see it. There we go. All right. Wow. Very cool machine. If you're doing a lot of large master key systems for commercial businesses, this is probably the machine for you. But being a hobbyist lockboss myself, I'll just have to keep dreaming about owning something as cool as that. Kind of like a sports car that costs as much as a house. I just have to admire this one from afar unless my circumstance dramatically changed. Thanks for the video, though. It's nice to see this thing work. Pretty slick. Hey, thank you so much for the comment on that one. Yeah, and I tell you what, so next week I'll be doing a recap video series on live here. And so I'll really kind of dive into that video and some other ones later as well. But yeah, definitely a cool machine. I definitely would like one. We have someone on staff here who cuts keys all day, so being able to use that would be amazing. But it is spendy, and even as a distributor, I of course get it for I get it for less than the sale price. I mean that's, but man, I always I really like one of those. Yeah, I'll just keep it there for now. So with that being said, all right. So let's hop into, man, I tell you what, we are cruising right along today. I like it. All right. So let's talk about the credit card processing and multiples. Now, in previous videos, I've talked about the credit card processing, right? And I've went into some of the different nuances of it. And so a little bit of what we'll be covering today, I have touched on a little bit. And then there's also some new ground. And there's really two things I'm hoping that we're going to get out of this. One is if you're, of course, watching live on YouTube or in a place where you can comment, I definitely, and I know so many others would love to get your thoughts, feedback, and opinion of what you're doing, and even talking about some of the stuff that I'm going to bring up today. And secondly, and most importantly, I really hope that we can all learn something too, because I think there's a little nuance in here that a lot of people don't realize. And realizing this, I think, is very important. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is how did we get here and why has this been such a topic lately? And that comes from Square having an outage. Here's a little screenshot here I have for you where Square apologizes for. It says during an outage that began the afternoon of September 7th and extended until the morning of September 8th, Square sellers weren't able to access their accounts or process payments while the outage occurred, the company said in posts on social media website X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time calling it X. I always call it Twitter. But anyway, so that's kind of what happened. And all of a sudden, Square is by far, a very, very, very popular credit card processor. For small business, and all of a sudden, if you can't process credit cards, which is the majority of everything, right, processing payment wise, it can cause a problem, right? And so that really brings up the question, should you have a backup? So that's what we got here. And let's talk about it. Should you have more than one credit card processor? And the answer, I believe, is yes. Now, let's kind of get into the details a little bit here. And, oh, man, it looks like my screen got cut up a little bit here, but I think we can make it work. Something weird with the text. But, the first question that I want to go over and talk about is, so who should you use, right? There's two different types of processing out there. There is fixed and variable rates. All right. Now, just like any of these like really big businesses that are out there selling this type of service, there's a lot of, I'm going to use the word trickery. Okay. No, I'm not saying it's in bad faith, but it's definitely, maybe trickery isn't right. Let's call it creative marketing. How about that? Let's call it creative marketing. And so what happens, right, is if you look at the top here, this, I took a screenshot of this, and it shows these variable, or it shows like a rate, which is, 1.94% plus 8%. And then I circled, you probably can't read it from this distance away, but it says in person, and it's the average, right, of a bill probably that they picked up. And so there's a lot of businesses out there that used to actually be kind of the old model back in the day, even when I started in business. It was very common that depending on, what kind of rewards card your customer had, it would change the rates. And of course, a keyed in transaction would cost a lot more than that. A debit card's the cheapest one to run, right? I've talked about that in other videos. And so that's kind of like the old school thing. It's kind of making a little bit of a comeback right now, actually. against the other type, which is like what Square uses, which is more of like a flat rate fee. Okay. And those are the two types. And I really think it's personal preference. I'm 100% without a shadow of a doubt in the camp of fixed. All right. I don't like variable rates. And the reason is, I mean, man, I tell you what, I don't know, for the first decade in business, I had the variable rate through a few different processors. And it would absolutely drive me crazy when you look at your statements. And it was like every time we would do like a large transaction, 20, 30, 50K, it would always be at the most expensive rate, And I'm like, what in the world? Like, I want to see some of these higher transactions at the cheaper rate. And so it was one of those where, I just wasn't a fan of, but it is something that is really personal preference and really, I guess, kind of how you think of it, right? So with that being said, who should you use, right? I think that's the big question. Like, who do you use? And I really think, and a lot of this, by the way, I'm going to be talking about in my businesses, how I do things, okay? And kind of spread it that way. But let's talk about it. So who should you use? I think it's best to make processing payments convenient for your customers and yourself, right? And so with that being said, I think that if your accounting software that you use can accept payments, for example, many small businesses use QuickBooks, right? Well, I would definitely make sure you're also using QuickBooks payments. That way, when you send a customer a email or an invoice or a statement, they have the ability to pay it right then and there. The cool part about QuickBooks, and I mean, a lot of other companies, is that you can also hook up and offer so they can just put in their bank details and you have a much lower transaction fee. So having that is a great option, and the truth is, what makes Square so popular? Well, their fixed rate was great, right? It was a great change from the classic variable rate. But it was really their point of sale system, their POS, which so many businesses have adapted. I mean, since then there's Toast. I mean, there's all sorts of them out there today. But Square, because of their point of sale, really, really, really used the point of sale system, which was something that wasn't really available to small business at any sort of a reasonable price. So that was really cool. So I would say that whatever systems, I mean, there's a lot of accounting systems out there besides QuickBooks. Okay. If you're using, I don't know, FreshBooks, Xero, whatever it might be, that you're looking at the integrations for the payments and you're setting something up to easily integrate into accounting, right? Because you want to make it easy for customers to pay your bill. And I tell you what, if you've ever had to do your own books or if you pay someone by the hour to do them, the more streamlined that you can get those transactions reconciled is going to cost either you less time or it's going to cost you less money if you're able to do that with a few clicks of a button, right? So that's a couple things kind of to keep in mind there. So let's go on to the next one here, which is kind of the biggest point that I want to make here. So, but you want to be careful that your backup payment processor does not use the same back-end payment system. Okay. And I'm putting one on the screen. This one actually, Doug Kimber had sent a screenshot or told me about this company called ScreenPay. It seems like a pretty cool little mobile app that you can essentially do a dollar amount. Someone can, it creates a QR code. From that point, you can show it to the customer, it pops it up. They can enter their payment details. Seems pretty slick, right? But on the screen is what you can see here is that it's powered by Stripe. Now, this is the big thing, okay? And this is one of the main points that I want to talk about today. So one of the largest back-end payment processors is Stripe, okay? And if you go to stripeswebsite.com, you're going to be able to see that they have this API and base code index set up to where essentially you can create your own app if you have the time and desire and the patience and the skills to do so. You can create your own payment app, okay? And you can go on to their and look at their different customers that they have. I mean, even big ones like the big. There's so many big companies out there, including Shopify, uses Stripe for their payments. So as you can see here, what I highlighted, right? So ScanPay is powered by Stripe, which so many companies are. And so I think the worst thing that you could do with coming up with a payment processor for a backup is to use one that's also using the systems that has this, their own app per se of the same credit card processor, right? Because that means you're going to have your go-to processing apps is going to be, it's not going to work. And your backup, if it's using the same back end, is probably not going to work as well. So make sure that you diversify that. And, I've been looking at a lot of the, so it looks like a comment in here. Iceman says Zoho. I'm a big fan. I love Zoho. It says, Zoho uses Stripe as a primary processor for online invoices. Yep. So exactly. So that's one of those things that once you kind of know this is that when it comes to Stripe, they're really everywhere, right? It's one of Silicon Valley's darling companies to this day. I don't even think they've went public yet, but it's a really cool company used by a lot of companies for processing. The main point here is just to make sure you're not using them for your main and your backup. So, looks like Doug's in the comments here. ScanPay says works great. Doug, thanks for sending that in here. All right, so next up. So I guess the big question is, right, is what do we use here? What do I use for my companies? And I use 4 different ones. Okay, we use QuickBooks Payments and Square and Stripe and PayPal. So we're really all over the place with that, right? And of course, all of mine. So CLK uses Stripe, Square, and PayPal is the 3 that we use. But in another business, we use QuickBooks Payments. We use Square. So so I mean that's kind of what we use as far as that goes. I'd really love to know your feedback in the comments and what you use. I see a bunch of comments here. Looks like Nicole, how's it going? She says QuickBooks. Jimmy J says Iowa Lock Doc. I like Square. I can carry my entire inventory there. Creates out of stock alerts. Yeah, it's such a that's such a good point. Jimmy, and Square, and why it's so popular is they have this awesome software that you get to use to help really organize a business that, really until they came around, if you wanted to have some sort of software like that, you were using QuickBooks like Premier or I think there's another one too, QuickBooks Pro, something like that, right? And they were expensive and they weren't even great at the credit card processing thing. So glad you're using it. Integrates for your marketing emails. I like it, Jimmy J. Man, thanks for sharing that. I really enjoy that. Let's see here. Oh, James says, how about the worm business? Yeah. Yeah. For that, I only accept caught fish as payment or maybe gummy red worms. How about that? Let's see here. Primary and having backup makes sense. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And Jimmy J. So I'll give you a couple of interesting stories about this. You bring it up. Yeah. 4. Wow. Yeah. So, man, weird things and, there's weird things that happen. If you've been in business long enough, you know that there are weird things with your payment processor that happens. And over time, there's also customers that like to pay with certain methods, which is probably why we have so much. But even recently, this is 2022, so this is last year. We ran a normal customer of ours. They pay the credit card. They do quite a big dollar. I think the dollar amount we ran was like $74,000. Okay. And ran the card. And then of course, essentially right after that, we like to, we just do a bank transfer from PayPal to our actual operating account. Well, because leaving money in PayPal doesn't do as much good, right? And PayPal locked the account, right? And they said that they needed, now I want to, this customer, it was the same credit card. This customer has done business with us for, a long time. Okay. We're talking years and years and years, 5+, 7+ years. And there's never been a problem, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, PayPal had locked it. They locked the money, and they're like, "Hey, it's been a while. It was either like a 21 or 30-day lock, right?" And it was just like, okay, guys, like, I've had a PayPal account since 2004, same PayPal account, same good customer history. And yet they do that, right? And that's just kind of, I don't know. Like, I'm not one that likes to go down the belly aching route. I'm like, okay, like, we'll just do the best we can to fight that, and or to get them to release it, which they didn't, and we had to wait the 21 or 30 days, something like that, and just used other ones and just had to, deal with it, right? Sometimes, right, that's part of the business, is the unexpected, the unknown that you just have to live with. And I don't know, I guess over years of business, you kind of, I don't know. I always like to say, like, in business, a lot of times you get punched in the face and you have to spit the teeth and you got to move on, right? And that's just how it goes. So, yeah, James, looks like he had a similar experience with a little bit more money. Yeah, $300K. Yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun, but, you just deal with it, right? You just have to deal with it and then create other systems to do that with, right? Let's see here. Dallas Love says, mine raised their fees and I've been lucky. All of my customers have been okay with Zelly. Was that right? Venmo and Cash App. Very cool. Yeah. And, one other point, and we'll, let's see here. Iceman says, PGA, like every tool in your bag, each has strengths and weaknesses. It's the important part is knowing when to use the right tool. That is so true. And, one last thing I want to point out here, and I've debated bringing this up or talking about it, but I think it's worth at least just kind of highlighting a little bit, right? And that is, well, first of all, none of us in business like credit card fees, right? None of us do. And I've talked about this more in depth in other shows. So I'm not going to go completely down that rabbit hole again. A company like ours, we, and like probably many of you, we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in processing fees. It's terrible. It's a lot. It's so much money. But over the years of the different places that I've used, there's only one type of company that I've kind of chosen to not do business with when it comes to processing fees, right? And that is ones that make a commission off of every one of my sales, right? Because it's a very, like, if we dumb down how the processing fees work, it's actually it's actually very simple. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, right? And at the very core of it, there is Visa and MasterCard, right? Just like you, just like me, we all have our rewards cards, our cash back, our miles, all of that, right? Well, like, they're not giving that to any of us. They are charging the merchant, essentially, right? And what Square did, right? And so all the different cards have all these different fees, right? And Square kind of essentially, breaking it down to the bare nuts and bolts here, kind of did an average of it, put a little bit of profit on it, and packaged it and sold it to us, for 2.6, 2.8, 2.4, right? It's kind of changed a little bit over the years. And so with that being said, like, the companies, like, you meet these people and they seem nice, but they want to, like, sell you the service and then they make a commission on it. And that's just really not my thing, right? I even here at CLK, like, we can partner with companies that give us kickbacks for you signing up. And I'm not into it, gosh, there's nothing like small businesses, right? Like we have to pay these fees and it's not fun. And the thought of me here at CLK making a small percentage or a kickback from getting you to sign up to one of these companies is gross. For me, it's gross. Okay. I'm just not into it. But I just want to let you know that does exist out there. Okay. There are companies that get kickbacks and let's call them partnerships to get you to use different services, and not into it. But I just want to bring that out there. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, so there you go. So one more here. James says, I don't remember if my parents use Stripe or Square, but they love it and it's really easy and on the go. Yeah, I mean, we have Stripe and Square to thank for a lot of the advancements in the credit card processing. I'm really hoping over time that we'll continue to see these fees become outdated and the new fees are pennies, right? But yeah, let's see here. Let's see. I got a question here. Yeah. James says, do you offer ACH payments instead of credit cards? Yes. So, yes and no. I mean, on the website at the moment, we do not have that set up, but that would be something that would be good to have for sure. I do agree. But yeah. So anyway, so that's the show today, folks. I mean, that's we're talking credit card processors. I hope you got some sort of value out of it. At minimum, I hope that you learn that with Stripe being the back end of so many different apps. Well, first of all, if you're creative and want to take the time, you can create your own. Why not, right? On top of that, or if you have your own website or this or that, like you can use Stripe to integrate in. It's really cool how that works. But yeah, just make sure that you don't have the same processor for the backup. So sorry, I was trying to read a comment at the same time, but yeah, so that's that. And of course, thank you for all your comments. If you're still, if you're not watching live or haven't commented yet, definitely share your feedback. I know it's so valuable to all the people who are watching. So very cool. Cool. Good stuff. All right. So, hey, let's go ahead and let's move on to the winners. Oop. All right, here we go. And Julio, you've been awfully silent without any music going here. So I need you to fire up some giveaway music. And Julio, I apologize. I should have had you cue on that last little bit about the random companies outside, like us trying to make money off that. I should have put some confession music on for that. I didn't, though. I apologize. Julio, you have my permission just to throw it up there when you need to. Okay, just throw it on up. With that being said, let's go ahead and announce this week. Of course, before we do that, we all get on the same page on what to do if you win. You're going to want to email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. You will also be entered in to win one of two $2,000 shopping sprees at CLKsupplies.com, and the two winners will be announced on December 29th, 2023, right before the new year. Should be a good time. So with that being said, let's go ahead and announce the winners. Here we go. Winner number one is Andrew Ritz. Andrew, congratulations. Winner number two is Bobby Kendrick. Bobby, congratulations. Winner number three is J Bond Forever. Congrats. Winner number four is Sean C. Congratulations. And last but not least, winner number 5 this week is Stark. Congratulations. Well, hey, there's our 5 lucky winners this week. Congrats to all of you. And of course, we have our new Lockboss Lockpick lineup full zip hoodie, and that you can purchase separately, or you can purchase it or get it for free with orders over $432.10. And as you can tell, Lily and Kylie like toying with me with that dollar amount. But anyways, and speaking of, you know what? For those of you still around, hang on for a minute, okay? I have something for you, okay? Yeah, so that's what we got. But, I tell you what, if you haven't already, okay, on this full zip hoodie here, it's really awesome, really cool. And the truth is, I should be wearing one right now. I don't even know what I'm thinking. I need to get myself one. But this is what I want to do for you, for hanging out and listening and participating and, well, gosh darn it, having an all right, good time. Let's do something a little fun here, okay? And I want to give away 2 of those zip up hoodies today. I actually want to do it right now for those of you who stuck around. So that's what we're going to do, okay? Now, don't do anything yet, but if you email us, don't email until I get done here, okay? I don't want you to disqualify yourself. But I want you to email us at sales@CLKsupplies.com and make sure you include your shipping address and the size of sweatshirt you want. Make sure you check out Lily's short she made where she was lining up all the different instruments. So freaking cool, I tell you. But in the subject line, okay, this is how you're going to win. So the first 2 people who get this right are going to get a free sweatshirt. And this is what you have to put on the subject line. The price listed on our website for that Silka Uno F900 key machine from the video that we put out here this past Sunday. So put that in the subject line, kick the email over to sales CLK Supplies, and the first 2 lucky winners are going to get a free sweatshirt mailed out to them. How about that? So good stuff, everybody. Well, hey, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thanks for hanging out and tuning in with me here. Of course, we'll be back same place, same time next week where I'll be doing a video recap. We'll kind of be going over each of the videos since the last recap, and I'll be kind of talking about some of the comments, some of the commentary, and thoughts about it. So that's what we'll be doing. Best of luck to all of you who are emailing in to get a free sweatshirt, and let's see how it goes. How about that? All right. So Julio, go ahead and leave us with a little bit of music. Y'all have a good evening.